Okay, thank you very much for joining this presentation. And we are going to discuss social development now. It will not be in one video, but maybe one more video or two more, maybe. And here we are discussing social development. So let's start with what social development is. It's a term which is not very difficult to describe, but as we discussed, it is difficult to agree as to what are or what constitutes social development. So we will try to talk about one definition. Social development is the combined outcome of policies and practices which produce the well-being for people in the society. And well-being here is defined in terms of people being able to reach their potential, their ability, tap into their potential and their abilities to succeed as useful members of society. Now, as I said, not very difficult to define, but difficult to agree on. So, how do you determine whether development is taking place? Now, for that, there are certain indicators. We can only measure development by some indicators. There is no agreed formula of determining the level of social development. What can be social development for one may not be a very high level of social development for another. But nonetheless, there are some indicators. These indicators are political, they can be economic, and they can be cultural. So let's first look at the political indicators. When we are talking about political indicators of development, in a developed society, there's going to be freedom. But what does freedom mean exactly in terms of a society? When we're talking about freedom, we do not mean the freedom to steal or the freedom to deprive other people of their possessions or their belongings. Uh, Here, freedom means the provision of civil rights. Now, what are the civil rights? Civil rights are your right to free speech, the right to peaceable assembly, the right to privacy, the right to franchise, and the right to associate. So, in such a situation, when you have this kind of freedom, you will this will be shown. This freedom will manifest itself in the form of democratic elections, free speech, free practice of religion. And the state will see, the country will see that there is a horizontal placement and non-interference between the various branches of the state. And the three branches of the state are the executive. The executive is the branch of government, or the part of the state which enforces the law. Now, that will not be interfered with by the judiciary, nor will the executive have the authority to interfere with the working of the judiciary. The job of the judiciary is interpreting laws. And then the highest body is going to be, in a parliamentary democracy, especially, the highest body is going to be the parliament, which will be the elected lawmakers of the country. So you will have more of these elections, democracy in a country. Now this picture is a picture of the rulers of Libya. Libya is not a very developed society on these standards. Let's say, according to these indicators, it may not be a very developed society. Why? Because we don't have those kinds of things in Libya. Whereas this picture is from Israel, and the person at the back, left back, is Itzhak Rabin, and he is one of the he was a general. A top general of the Israeli army. But later on, he became the elected prime minister of the country as well. So they have both. They have a very highly developed army, and they have a very highly developed parliamentary form of democracy. Then there will be, as I said, there will be the civil rights. Also, your political indicators will show that the country has good relations with its neighbors. It respects the sovereignty of other nations, and other nations respect its sovereignty too. Inside the country, what will you notice? Inside the country, there's going to be what is called distributive justice. Distributive justice means that whatever is being produced will be distributed amongst the people in in a just manner. The resources of the country will not be hogged by one set of people or by one class. The mortality rates is another indicator. In developed countries, the birth rates as well as death rates are low, whereas in underdeveloped countries, both death rates and birth rates are extremely high. Uh, Underdeveloped countries are also marked by a high infant mortality rate. Okay, so the medical care will be provided in developed countries, whereas in underdeveloped countries where development is low, you will not see that. Um, then there are cultural indicators. Now, all these indicators were put together. When we talk about cultural indicators, mainly we are talking about literacy and access to educational opportunities as well as access to clean water, mind you. All right. So there are some cities like Karachi, which is a very huge city, uh, 30 million plus people living, but no access to clean water. There is no clean water in Karachi, which is tragic. So even though the city is big, you cannot say that it is a very highly developed city on this uh, as far as this yardstick is concerned. The level of development may be low, and there are some really um, uh, big pockets of poverty in this city, in of Karachi, and in the whole country. In fact, the whole continent of Asia, you will find countries and cities which are huge, but which also have huge pockets of poverty where access to clean water is not available. And then there was this Pakistani economist. He developed the concept of measuring or the level of development through what was called the HDI, Human Development Index. The Human Development Index measures the end result of social development. Okay, high living standards, economic growth. But what is the end result of this? The end result of good GDP will be good living standards of the people overall. So let's not measure the economic indicators, also the end result. There is one other end result that HDI also measures, and that is overdevelopment. So when if you go to certain countries, they are developed and they have become so highly developed that instead of benefiting from that development, they are beginning to suffer. Now that might seem like a contradiction in terms, but that is exactly what's happening. They are consuming so much that they are developing diseases because of this very high level of development. So this is a brief overview. We will now go to the theory of development, which is the modernist theory, and this is the theory which we will continue in the next video. All right, thank you very much indeed.